The stations of KUAM, proud sponsor of the 12th Festival of Pacific Arts, Guam 2016. What we own, what we have, what we share, united voice of the Pacific.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&D.
KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust, serving Micronesia for over 75 years. Matson Navigation, proud sponsor of Festback 2016. Cars Plus, Dodge Challenger, the undisputed champion. IP&E, fueling excellence. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. Pacific Solar, and Chuck E. Cheese's Guam, where all games are just one token.
A pilot makes an emergency landing at the airport. The retirement fund will file legal action against the hospital. And the latest with planning for FestPac 2016. Holiday and good evening. Topping our news tonight, it was a full activation at the Guam International Airport after air traffic control received a call for help at 2:55 this afternoon. The pilot of an Asia Pacific Airlines cargo plane on approach reported having problems with his landing gear. Our Nestor Lecanto was at the airport as the plane made its emergency landing.
All roads surrounding the airport were blocked off as an Asia Pacific cargo plane made an emergency landing Friday afternoon. Its first try was a touch and go.
They tried numerous procedures, and unfortunately, it wasn't able to come down.
The plane's nose gear was having problems. The pilot's second attempt was successful. Rescue crews were on standby the whole time. Guam International Airport Executive Manager Chuck Ada.
The pilot did an outstanding job in getting the plane down safely. It made its final stop on our shorter runway of the two, our 10,000-foot runway closer to the south side of our property. And there was no smoke, no fire. Kudos to all the response organizations, more specifically within the airport, that did what they were supposed to do, outlining our policies and procedures for these type of events, which included our stakeholders. And obviously, we couldn't have done this event without successful collaboration with our partners in public safety, more specifically the Guam Fire Department, the Guam Police Department, and the folks up at Civil Defense.
The Asia Pacific plane was arriving from Honolulu, Hawaii. No one was injured. The airport has 2 runways. The emergency landing did not impact operations. For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
It was on Tuesday we broke it to you first. A Texas fugitive who was picked up on Guam by U.S. Marshals on sexual assault charges. While Anthony Castaneda awaits an extradition hearing, his family reached out to KUAM to tell their side of the story. Crystal Paco has the exclusive.
They're praying for answers.
Lord, I just want to thank you for just this opportunity to just share some light in the situation. Lord, I pray for our nerves are the things that we desire to say. Lord, I pray you just give us wisdom about it. And Lord, we just love Anthony.
Joe and Jen Nalta are the parents of Anthony Castaneda, the man wanted in the Lone Star State and picked up on Guam by U.S. Marshals on Tuesday. According to the couple, their 22-year-old son made the move back to Guam last October.
At that time, there was no warrants for his arrest, nor that we know that there was charges for sexual assault. He was not served any papers. We had no idea until the day that the marshals came.
That was Tuesday when they suddenly found themselves negotiating his self-surrender with authorities.
We arranged that for the marshals to come and pick him up, and so they did.
The Naltas defend their son's innocence. As we reported, an ex parte hearing was held on Wednesday. According to court documents, the AG's office contends there is probable cause to believe Castaneda is a fugitive from the state of Texas, and that continued custody is warranted until a governor's warrant is issued. Once the governor of Texas issues that warrant, the process of extradition will commence. Scheduled for March 21st at 10 a.m. before Superior Court Judge James Anto.
Anthony has to go back and face these charges, but we don't want people immediately thinking, because when you initially read the reports, it just sounds like he's a fugitive on the run who's a sexual assault predator maybe, and he's coming out here to the island to evade that and carry on that here. It just almost seems like that. So we just want to set that record straight that that's not him. That's not his character at all.
And if Castaneda is watching,
I would just want to tell him to stay strong, and that we're doing everything we can to get him a criminal lawyer in Texas, and that we're continually praying for him, and that to let the Lord fight for him and not to give up.
reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Crystal Paco.
The government of Guam Retirement Fund is taking legal action against the Guam Memorial Hospital after missed payments amounted to over $4 million in debt. GMH has been struggling to make payments to the fund for several months now. Although it made a $70,000 payment last week, that amount is trumped by the amount it owes. Retirement Fund Director Paula Bloss.
The current amount that they owe to the fund as of yesterday was $4 million. However, they do have a payment that's due today, which is about another $460,000. So that'll bring it up to about $4.5 million.
GGRF Board of Trustees Treasurer Jerry Cruz said that following a meeting Friday afternoon, the board decided to file a writ of mandamus against GMH. He said seeking a declaratory judgment would allow the board to seek further relief. A former Guam resident and her husband were killed earlier this week when their home in Port Orchard, Washington exploded. According to Father Eric Forbes, Maria Cruz McDonald is an Academy of Our Lady of Guam graduate originally from the village of Sinahanya. Maria left Guam in the 1970s after marrying her husband, who was in the Air Force. She was 65 years old. Washington authorities are still investigating the cause of that explosion. The South Pacific Commission visited Guam this week to follow up on the final preparations for the upcoming Festival of Pacific Arts. The festival is now less than 3 months away. Isa Baza has more.
South Pacific Commission Advisor for Culture and Social Development, Elise Huffer, said the 2016 Festival of Pacific Arts is one of the most culturally rich events in the region, bringing 27 different island nations and thousands of visitors to Guam this May. She was on island following up on festival preparations this week.
It looks like everything's on track. I had a really good meeting with the festival director and her staff, as well as, with some of the different subcommittees, food and catering, communications, to look at, the broadcasting of the festival. Just really taking a look at the final preparations, because as you know, we're within 100 days now. So we just need to check everything's on track.
During her week-long stay, she met with local stakeholders and visited festival venues, including the museum and satellite stages in both Agate and Dedido. She said one of the biggest challenges left to cover is the travel arrangements for visiting delegations.
Some are already completely organized. They have their charters, their own airlines are bringing them up. So we're just trying to finalize all of that. Some of the other areas we still need to iron out also are biosecurity. Our health people have been working very closely with the health subcommittee here. Same thing with biosecurity.
Planners are also preparing for the Zika virus.
Viruses are viruses. They have a life of their own, as we know. But, everyone's very aware of the situation and addressing it.
FestPac is scheduled to take place in Guam from May 22nd to June 4th.
It's incredibly diverse and really represents the cultural diversity and richness of the Pacific Islands, both from the north to the south. And I think it's really exciting to have it in Guam because for people of Guam, it's a way to learn, especially the school kids, to learn about the rest of the Pacific.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Isa Baza.
It's a month-long celebration of our island's rich cultural history. Message Tomorrow spans the entire month of March and culminates with Guam History and Chamorro Heritage Day on March 6th. The fun kicks off this weekend with a 3-day festival in the village of Umatic. Mayor Johnny Kanata.
This is the start off of Chamorro Week, and this has to be the biggest event because it's about our culture here in Guam. I want them to show our hospitality down here. That's all I want, is for them to come and enjoy and have fun.
All right, thank you, Mayor.
The festival begins at 6:30 p.m. and continues all day Saturday and Sunday. A second festival will also take place March 4th through the 7th. The festival will include food, entertainment, and will also highlight Guam's culture and history. Stay tuned. We're back with more news after this.
Stay connected to the world at home from everywhere you are. Get the KUAM News app for the latest in local news, videos, sports, streaming, Isla 63 AM, weather, and more. Available for free now at the iTunes App Store or Google Play.
Congratulations! Just won! I did! You too can win in Calvo's Insurance Ride Your Dreams giveaway. If you are a Calvo's Insurance home or personal auto customer, you qualify to enter by texting LOYAL to 2015. And if you need an insurance quote, text quote to 2015 for a chance to win in our grocery giveaway. Thank you, KUAM, for placing your trust in Calvo's. Insure with Calvo's today and ride your dreams to reality.
Do you work hard and need to get away? Then play Micronesia Mall's Drive Away Getaway game and you could win 3 Nissan car driveaways plus 30 getaways to Manila on Philippine Airlines. Just present mall receipts to enter and win the Nissan Rogue Beach Package, the sizzling Citra SR, the Rogue Sport Package, plus great instant prizes from Burger King and Foot Locker. Shop and win more cars, trips, and prizes when you play Micronesia Mall's Drive Away Getaway game.
Walking on a dream, hopping like flight. We are always running for the thrill of it. Always pushing up the hill, searching for the thrill of it. All along, we are calling out now together.
Direct from our imagination. The all-new Civic from Honda.
Follow KUAM News on Twitter or become a fan on Facebook to get all your daily headlines from Guam's news network.
Local businessman says there are big opportunities in Manila that companies may not be aware of. Ray Laneta says the Asian Development Bank, headquartered in the Philippines, is always in need of services and products.
Everything from construction to logistics to supplies to office equipment and things like that. And I see it every year, and they push out billions of dollars to help the Asia Pacific region. Their goal is to rid the Asia Pacific region of poverty.
Laneta says he has been sharing a presentation with local companies to let them know about the potential business.
What I'm doing basically is I'm presenting this to Guam businesses and letting them know that ADB is having a free business opportunities fair on March 16th and 17th. And they can go there and see for themselves and make a decision on whether they want to go after those opportunities or not. It's worth billions.
He says companies who attend the fair will learn how to get notification of potential work and how to bid for it. Members from the Bureau of Budget and Management Research went before the Guam legislature this week to discuss the governor's nearly $1 billion executive budget for the next fiscal year. However, during the hearing, it was more about how the numbers for the current fiscal year were tracking. BBMR Director Joey Duenas addressed concerns from senators at how GovGuam is tracking below revenue projections.
However, January, which is the beginning of the second quarter, the numbers were not as kind. They were below the 2016 adopted level by negative 1.73% or $14.2 million, as you stated earlier. Although this is not what we wanted to see, it is the situation.
He further noted the third quarter is pivotal, where significant revenue is collected upwards up to 29%. Calvo says this will give the fiscal team a better gauge of how revenues would look for the remainder of the fiscal year. During a hearing in the nation's capital regarding the debt crisis confronting Puerto Rico, Congresswoman Madeline Berdallo raised issues with the fiscal stability in Guam and other U.S. territories. Specifically, she raised the need to address challenges with the government of Guam's retirement fund and her bill to give GovGuam flexibility in extending the Social Security program to GovGuam employees. Berdallo introduced H.R. 3642 to assist the Guam legislature in their efforts to reform the government of Guam retirement plan. She also raised the need for federal cover-over for the Earned Income Tax Credit and an improved federal medical assistance percentage for Medicaid in the territories. Berdallo saying, quote, "I hope that these proposals will be considered as part of the overall package, and I will continue to advocate heavily for Guam's inclusion." It's only considered the first stage, but people can now begin registering to vote online. Guam Election Commission Executive Director Maria Pangilinan says although they are working together with the Division of Motor Vehicles, they do not have immediate access to the online system.
And I must ask for their patience because it's not, most of it still requires human interaction in our office or human power in our office. They make the initial attempt to register. We will collect the data that is required, and then we will email them with the form and the other requirements that are that they need to email back to us.
Pangilinan hopes for the full implementation in October when DMV updates their software to comply with the Real ID Act. You can register online at gecguam.gov. It is all about building the strategic vision of Guam over the next 50 years, and today the second Imagine Guam convention took place at the Dusitani. Bureau of Statistics and Plans Director Will Castro says today's convention allowed all the different Imagine teams to present their summaries of their overall vision for Guam in the year 2065.
I think it's important to think ahead in terms of what the possibilities are. But what's unique about the Imagine Guam Convention is that these teams are not saturated with people who are planners or who are entrenched necessarily in any one industry. So this is a cross-section of our community that brings, I think, a really dynamic factor to the discussion, because now these thoughts about the future are not confined to our realities.
A third convention is set for next month. For more information, go to Imagine Guam or imagine.guam.gov. The brown tree snake, the coconut rhinoceros beetle, the little fire ant, and even the feral pig. We often hear about these invasive species, but seldom do we hear about invasive plants. Crystal Paco continues a species series in conjunction with Invasive Species Awareness Week.
When you think of invasive species, you probably don't think of the tall, beautiful trees that line expensive homes, hotels, and even golf courses.
This is the African tulip. As you can see, it's a really impressive looking tree. It can get anywhere between 30, 40, 50 feet tall. The leaves are very shiny and the flowers are very showy. So you can see why people would like to use this tree in their landscape.
Because they're foreign to the island and have no natural predators, Department of Agriculture Forestry Division Chief Joe Mofna says invasive plants like the African tulip are ruining the balance of nature. And they're a growing threat to native birds, native animals, and most especially native trees.
People bring it in because they want to use it for landscaping purposes. And after it's no longer needed or after a storm, they dispose of it, and then it spreads that way. When they grow, it shades out the understory of the trees, so it suppresses the growth of any native trees that may grow in that landscape.
But eradicating invasive plants isn't an option. After all, most are widely accepted on the island, like the Tangan tree.
The reality is that we have a lot of non-indigenous plants that are here that have been naturalized, and it's accepted. For example, like the Tangan de Lucena, it was brought here a long time ago, but it's almost like it's something that culturally it's acceptable because we use it for, what do we use it for? It's for barbecues, right?
While Guam's relationship with invasive plants is complicated, Mofnis recommends homeowners and landscapers get to know their greenery, from management to disposal. He even suggests planting native plants like the ephit or plumeria over non-native ones.
Like the nurserymen or even like developers. And what I would say to developers, the hotels, the golf courses, anything like that. My advice is really, instead of planting non-native exotics, why don't you plant native trees, right? Because they're acclimated to the islands. It helps in your water bill because like I said, it's acclimated to the environment here. When you plant it down during the rainy season, essentially it'll take care, it'll take care of itself. So you don't have to really maintain it.
For more information on invasive plants, call the Forestry Division at 300-79-75 through 7. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Crystal Paco.
Thanks, Crystal. Stay tuned. Sports is coming up next.
If you've been thinking about buying your next vehicle, now is the time. Hundreds of brand new Hyundais, Dodges, Chryslers, Jeeps, Rams, used vehicles are all priced to move during massive markdown tent sale going on now through Monday and Mighty. From the asphalt to the mud trails, we've got you covered. On the spot financing available, but you gotta hurry. This sale absolutely ends Monday, February 29th. It's a massive markdowns tent sale going on now at Cars Plus and Mighty. Cars Plus, driven by you.
I am truck cleaner.
I'm a baller.
I'm a golfer.
I'm swimmer.
Hey, neighbor.
We are parents of an athlete.
I am a coach.
We are volunteers.
Let me win. Can I win?
Let me be brave in the attempt.
Make a difference in an athlete's life. Be a part of Special Olympics Guam.
Keep our dreams alive.
Get involved today.
Get ready. It's time to party, to rally, to run in paradise. 5K, 10K, half marathon, and full marathon. All the fun in one great run, in one great half-a-day experience. Register today for the Guam International Marathon on April 10th.
Ruby Tuesday now gives you more for lunch. Endless trips to the Fresh Garden Bar, plus add-ons, mini combinations, and even new meal options. It's the new lunchtime menu, available Monday to Friday until 2 p.m., only at Ruby Tuesday.
What AutoSpot in-house financing means to you is 3 simple benefits to buying a car: lower interest rates, flexible financing, and lower monthly payments. Yes, AutoSpot in-house financing brings mainland programs for island living. Whether you want to finance your new GMC, Buick, or Mitsubishi, AutoSpot can help you find the right monthly payment to fit your budget. Click on GuamAutospot.com or call 478-AUTO. You'll be amazed what we can do. Visit us today.
Off a day, Guam, sitting in for the one and only and vacationing Dave Delgado. My name is Chris Barnett, and as always, a big, huge show for you right now. It's like this big. It's so big we had to smash it down just to get it in the studio. So coming up, we got martial artists breaking stuff. Yep, and IAAG boys basketball. But first, it seems like it was only a week ago. Well, it was a week ago that I was honored to be named Del Rentone's Athlete of the Week. But sadly, I had a good run, and it's now time to pass the torch to some more deserving athletes. Let's get it. All right, as last week's Athlete of the Week, it gives me great pride, honor, and pleasure to present our check and, of course, the big Del Rentone Athletes of the Week honor to the Guam Women's National Rugby Team. And now I'm going to pass the mic over to my man, Nate, from Del Rentone, who's totally not nervous right now. Nate?
So, Joyce, who would you guys like to present this check to?
The team would like to present this check to Guam Alley Shelter, because we want to set an example of being good role models, and we want to start with the kids because they are the future of Guam.
All right, now, Joyce, real quick, this has been a roller coaster of a week for you guys. I mean, we're so proud of how you represented our tiny island against, much bigger countries and, much bigger talent pools. And I think this is great. It's you guys are great role models for not just the women of the island, but, the young women of the island to show that, hey, women, get rough. Let's get out there. Let's get it. You know what I mean? And what's in store for you guys this year down the road? I mean, this is huge. It's historic, but I'm pretty sure that you guys are looking much higher.
Well, we just wanted to thank everyone for the support, because that's where it all came from, is from everyone supporting us. With the support, it just motivated us to do better, to learn. And from this moment, it's just like a learning opportunity for us as players and as athletes. And we just hope to continue to do better for ourselves, for our team, and for our island. Thank you.
Well, there you go. Remember of the women's national rugby team. So let's get back to the show, and don't mind us. We're just going to scrum it up in here, okay? Double I, double AG, boys basketball action. Let's do it, to it. St. Paul's Harvest, Mark Tamarowski, big man coming down. Count it with the foul. All right, and Jiang Dong Lin here. The long ball pass to Chris Wang. Boom. Good. Let's look at some St. Paul's defense here now with the block down low from the back. Nice, nice, nice. Good D, guys. And now let's look at this. Look at this open jumper here. St. Paul's Alan Santos. Swish. Got him. Yes. Nice Shaw. Hey, fans, remember, respect. Harvest now. Number 2, Jacob Ashiro. Over to Jordan Santos for 3 on the downtown train. Boom. All right, and now St. Paul's number 3, Alan Santos again. Hey, ref, move it. You're not made of glass, man. All right, and number 4 here, Jericho Paris with the steal for St. Paul. Number 3 misses, and it's over to Ethan Allegre with a putback. Call him the garbage man. I mean that in a nice way, all right? 90 competitors from Guam Taekwondo Center and Shinkyokushin Karate Jigo Dojo competed during the second Master Noli's Martial Arts Breaking Tournament recently at the Micronesia Mall, where they proceeded to break stuff. Participants were required to break stackable tiles with a knife hand strike or a clenched hammer punch. Now, in the men's senior division, CJ Sinicolas from Guam Taekwondo Center demolished 35 tiles to set a new record. I got to get this guy to help me retile the kitchen. Edging out Jigo Dojo's Jerome Meneses, who settled for silver by breaking 30 tiles. Other gold medal winners included Jake Piano, Kalila Kim, Gary Rodriguez, Irish Mabalut, Alex Dakanai, Zane Ayanko, and Nathan Matienzo. The event, of course, was sponsored by Master Noli Kaluag, the chief instructor of Guam Taekwondo Center. Hiya! All right, we go from breaking stuff to breaking you off. Hope you have a great weekend, Guam. Remember, anything sports, malfunction at KUAM.com. Sitting in for the one and only on vacationing, Dave Delgado. I'll be back next week, unless there's something they're not telling me, okay? So you have a great weekend, Guam. My name is Chris Barnett. Adios.
This is iPhone 6s. Not much has changed, except it feels different. Now you press lightly to peak and deeper to pop. It changes how easily you can peek a flight, check a post, search for dinner. Ooh, you guys are gonna love that place. You can find a getaway easier. Yeah, go there. And find music easier. Wait, are you listening to your own song?
No, I was, hello?
So pretty much everything you do feels different. And that's what's changed.
Welcome to Nissan's Sign and Drive event. No money down. All we need is your signature and drive away. And we'll make your first payment. Drive away. Nissan's luxury Sentra sedan starting at just $59.69 with just your signature, and enjoy up to 40 mpg. Loaded with all the tech you need to keep you connected to the world. And your first payment's on us. There's more great deals on the full line of Nissan cars, trucks, and SUVs. So start the new year right with a free car payment from Nissan. See your favorite salesperson for details at Nissan Guam.
Hey ho, on the road again, moving on forward. 6 stones won't break a bone. We're in the car on a highway. It's so magical, feeling that no one's got a home. You're a catalyst to your happiness, you know. This is your home, it's alive, it's pumping blood. In a whole wide world, it's
You know the rules. Eggs and sausage, hotcakes and butter. Morning fare, right? Well, McDonald's has thrown away those rules and opened a new world of possibilities. Now you're free to start enjoying the breakfast you love anytime you wish. No way. Yes way. Introducing McDonald's new all-day breakfast menu. Once you changed how you ate breakfast. It's time to start changing when.
Hafid and welcome back. If you're thinking about going to college but don't know where to start, there is an event for you this weekend. Marilyn Dingen reports.
If you're on the fence about college, the Guam Community College College Access Challenge Grant Program is here for you. Hannah Pangilinan and Pam Abaza are project managers with the program. This weekend, they're hosting a resource fair for all ages.
At this fair, with the help of our community partners and the academic programs, we hope to foster awareness and promote the more educational and community programs to Guam families and the student population.
Our mission is to basically take middle school and high school students and have them start thinking about college and to actually go to college.
If you're not sure if you can afford to further your education, financial aid officials will be on site too.
So if you have more questions specifically about financial aid and grant aid, they can help. They're there to support you. College Access also offers grant aid.
And if you're struggling to make the grades, they've got you covered.
Some of the services that we offer are free tutoring. We have tutors available at school sites as well as in our GCC tutoring room. We have a computer lab available for students. Also, we will be offering at the fair a chance to learn about college admissions and financial aid scholarships.
The fair will be held at the Micronesian Mall Center Court, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. There will be free entertainment and goodie bags. For more information, visit guamcc.edu or like them on Facebook. Reporting for Guam News Network, I'm Marilyn Dingen.
Let's take a look at your weather forecast. Currently, skies outside are partly cloudy with a slight chance of rain. Winds are east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. The low temperature for tonight, 76 degrees. Expect much of the same weather through the weekend. And that is your weather forecast. Well, it was the biggest storm to hit Fiji in recorded history and led to an estimated 40 deaths. Cyclone Winston ravaged the island less than a week ago on February 20th. Guam Massive Sound is hosting a Friends of Fiji Cyclone Winston relief fundraiser this Sunday to collect clothes, camping gear, medical supplies, and monetary donations. Food will not be accepted at this event. The event is from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Epau Beach in Tumon. And before we close out the news tonight, here is your latest round of birthday shout-outs from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club. Happy birthday going out to Maria Erica Castillo Ganikan. May you continue to have success in life and reaching more goals for your loving friends and families. Happy 4th birthday to Caleb Dela Cruz. Celebrating his birthday is Raymond Garrido, love the family. Happy 40th birthday to John Dukowitz, coming from your wife and children. Happy birthday to Luann Mesa from the Familia. Celebrating his sweet 16 is Devin John Hernandez from your brothers Adrian, Francis, Nathan, and Kevin. Happy birthday to Renee Titano and Julie Sin Augustine, love the family. Happy birthday to Desiree Tapasnia. And Justine Cordero Love, Dill, Karita Jean, Baby, and the entire family. You can be a part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club. Just head on over to KUAM.com. And now to announce the winner of a delicious Cold Stone Creamery cake. Congratulations going out to Jacob Vincent Mosca, who celebrated his birthday this past Monday. A representative from Cold Stone will be contacting you to let you know when you can pick up your cake. Well, it only happens once every 4 years, and because of this, KUAM, along with Cold Stone, would like to recognize Guam's leap year babies. If you know a leap year baby, email birthdayclub@KUAM.com with the name, age, and birthday of your celebrant, along with a picture. All verified leap year babies will receive a birthday treat from Cold Stone Creamery and be featured on our newscast. And that's going to do it for us here on Primetime. Stay tuned. Fiesta Friday is up next.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&D.
It is so appropriate that we begin this episode of Fiesta Friday with music, because that is how we begin our show. We are talking about a wonderful event from our friends at the Guam Symphony Society presenting the New World Symphony. Now, who better to tell us about that than our good friend, Dr. Steve Bednarczyk. I can call you Steve after all these years,
Yes,
right?
of course.
Steve in for the uninitiated.
Drop the maestro and the doctor.
Yeah.
Steve is fine.
Yeah, I think the last time I called you, the impresario of
maestro, many things.
Yeah, and I remember you blushed,
all good things.
The camera caught that and everything. But a new friend of ours and the guest conductor, Dr. Ju-Yong Kwang. So, Doctor, welcome to Guam.
Yeah, thank you.
Half a day. We're happy to have you.
Yeah.
So, what exactly constitutes, Steve, a New World Symphony?
Well, we're giving concerts tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. And it's called the New World Symphony because the main work on the program is the Dvorak Symphony No. 9, also known as the New World Symphony. He wrote it in the 1890s when he was the director of a conservatory in New York City back then. And it's got a very famous largo movement. And it's sometimes known as Going Home or something like that. So the whole concert's based around the New World Symphony by Dvorak.
Okay, and this is pre-industrial age, obviously
Yes.
pre-age of the internet and everything
Yeah.
like that. Does the music kind of reflect some of the
Well,
time period?
Dvorak's a wonderful composer. Melody just kind of bubbled from him effortlessly. And his Ninth Symphony is one of the most popular works in the symphonic repertoire. So people will recognize particularly the slow movement. It's also got a very popular last movement, and even the first movement also. The first half of the program has Liszt Le Préludes. It's a very famous symphonic poem for orchestra, which is kind of a one-movement symphonic work of a descriptive quality. And then after the Le Préludes, the wonderful David Duenas, very famous guitarist here on island.
Of course.
Yes,
Good
who
friend
lived
of
in San
ours.
Francisco for a long time, is going to be performing a work by Joaquin Rodrigo, the Concerto de Arañuas. And the slow movement of that is very, very famous, also made famous by Miles Davis and his album Sketches of Spain and heard in many different places. So Dr. Kwan is our guest conductor. David Duenas is our guest guitar soloist for this program. And it's going to be at the Lotte Hotel. There's a dinner concert on Saturday. It starts at 6 o'clock, and then the concert starts at 7:30. That's $75 a person. And then Sunday, it's a matinee concert, no food. Just come and enjoy the music, and that's at 3 p.m. at Lotte downstairs in the ballroom.
Yeah, Dave Duenas does such amazing work with nylon strings when he plays like Spanish-style guitar, and I can't wait to hear him play.
Oh, he sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
And he's got an amp with him, too, so you can hear it above the orchestra.
He's a true pro, and he's also one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet.
Yeah, he actually came and played the same piece about 10 years ago. And we have a little better band this time and an excellent conductor, so it's a really, really nice concert, shaping up to be a really nice concert.
Well, perfect segue for you. And you've been doing broadcast now with me so long and everything. We can switch over. Dr. Kwan, as our guest of honor and as the guest conductor, what makes performing these pieces either so challenging and or so liberating?
Well, it was. I mean, any symphony is hard to play. Like with symphony. So usually I don't do the symphony in South Korea because it's hard to make the good sound. But like Maestro made like a good symphony orchestra. So I think I'm just waving my arms and it's really good sound. Yeah.
Well, I think that's false modesty because obviously your qualifications speak for themselves. You come to us from the University of Washington where you did your work, and
I finished my doctorate in conducting.
And then you're home in South Korea, and you're very, very experienced. But
I'm conducting Seoul Orchestra, which is a private orchestra in Seoul.
Yeah. What are again some of the challenges of being able to play this kind of music with modern day musicians who, even if they study the classics and classic techniques and everything like that, they grow up in a completely, different time period. And, playing with a ensemble that large and everything like that, and making one coherent sound with so many different pieces. What are some of the challenges of that?
It's a hard question.
Well, one of the biggest challenges, particularly out here, is getting everyone together at the same time in the same room. Once that's
which is a uniquely Guam thing.
Yeah, very, very Guam thing. But also, so much of society today is catered towards YouTube videos and short 3 or 4 minute snippets of things. SNL is perfect for that. You have your short little comedy sketches. And with these larger works, one of the things for the musicians that study this, and particularly the younger musicians in the orchestra, is to getting to understand a larger form and how it expands more slowly. Because when the Dvorak Symphony No. 9 lasts 45 minutes, 35, 45 minutes, depending on how fast, he conducts. And getting to understand that the whole thing's going to unfold in this amount of time, that they have to experience it and understand how it works in a larger way, instead of just getting to the point right away. Kind of building up to the musical climaxes and working through stuff, and the level of concentration it requires also.
You've mentioned that before. You said the crescendo is almost as important as the climax of the music.
True, because the first movement starts slowly, but then it reaches this development section where it's very climactic, but that doesn't happen until 6 or 7 minutes in, which a normal YouTube video is over by then. And you're watching the next thing. So it's a different way. And then there's 4 separate movements to that also. So it's a different way of understanding music compared to most pop songs, which pop music's wonderful. It's 2-3 minutes.
Now, Dr. Kwan, it's interesting because the classical conductor method is you're typically facing the musicians with the crowd to your back, who you normally can't play off of, a band musician would say, like, okay, the crowd's really into it, let me work up this part. How do you try and kind of like read how the crowd is reacting to the music as you're directing your musicians?
First of all, I have to focus. I mean, he's doing the same thing. I have to focus on the music. I have to focus on, I always have eye contact with the players, so I can give them my trust, and I can absorb their emotional things. So I think that's a hard thing for the conductor. So you're not making any sound, right? You're not making any sound, so it's very hard to keep in touch with every players, so that they can trust me to what they are doing. So
well, the passion is obvious, and gentlemen, we're very happy to have you here, and we can't wait to see the performance, which is going to be what time again, Steve? And how can people get
Saturday night is 6 o'clock dinner starts, 7:30 concert. Sunday is 3 p.m. concert at the Lotte Hotel. Go to the GuamSymphony.com website or call 477-195-TIME. 1959. 477-1959.
You're thinking of 4/4 time. You're always
exactly.
You're a human metronome, basically. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. To work up to the concert and everything, I'm going to go watch Mr. Holland's Opus on
Please do.
on Netflix, because I want to get him. Okay, I am going to conduct us into commercial break and everything, but stay tuned because we will be right back after this.
This program is brought to you by GTA, your island, your network.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
House to Home, brought to you by Remax Diamond Realty.
All right, everybody, on a previous episode of House to Home, we were talking about construction, and we were talking about some of the fees that might apply and some of the charges that you may not think. So Liz and Gina are joining us once more from Remax Diamond Realty Guam. And Gina, you were actually saying in your own experience with your house, you were nice enough to share with us that you got hit with a $40,000 estimate, right?
Yeah.
Not a bill per se, but an estimate that you were not expecting.
Yeah, well, so I knew enough to start with the bank It always starts with the money. You got to know what you're going to be able to spend. So I did that. So I had the budget. We got a contractor. We had the building plans. We started construction. And during the occupancy permit phase, so when we got our building permit stamped, GWA made a note that you should connect your water. So I'm literally 2 lots away from the main road. So they had said, you got to connect to the main road. You can't connect like to your neighbor's line because it was only a 2-inch line. And there's regulations now about water pressure, what size of a line you can connect to. So we saw that in the permit. Yeah, we did. We saw the notes, but who would think it would be a $40,000 bill, right? So we thought, oh, we'll worry about it when the house is ready and I'll go apply for my water meter. I'll worry about it then. So the house was done, the contractor, so as a consumer, the contractor makes it your responsibility to connect water and power. So when the house is ready, you have to go and do all that. So house is ready. I call the contractor to say, I need somebody licensed to install the water line. My contractor isn't licensed to install the water line. There are some contractors that are, mine wasn't. So I called a few contractors to come out and give me the quote. So they looked at the plans and they knew what it meant. So they go out there, measure, and then I get the quotes. And $35,000 to $40,000 later, I'm like, I guess I'm not moving into this house.
And that was not part of your original budget.
That was not part of it. And by the way, at that point, you're already done. I mean, you probably spent that budget like a few months ago, right?
Well, we also know that the two of you are the queens of real estate, and you guys make a $1 kajillion a month. But that's a lot of money.
Not at all. But when you're building, always plan to be going over budget. Okay, always plan on that.
Contingency.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The rule is you're going to go over budget. That's the rule. So of course we were over budget. So when I saw that quote, then that was a light bulb that went off. And I said to myself, what about the people who are doing this, who are not in the business, who don't know?
That's right.
So I had a few things that I did. I made it work, but only because I did a lot of homework, went through all the rules and regulations. So, I was able to work through the system, and I found ways to get it done. But so there are certain things you've got to look for. How many inches do you have running through your area? What is GWA going to allow you to bring in? Is it a 4-inch line or a 6-inch line? Because 2-inch lines won't work anymore. Where do they want you to connect this new line? Just because you have water running in front of your property doesn't mean that's where they're going to allow you to connect to.
Well, of course, hindsight being 20/20, Liz, if you could do things differently, I'm sure, because Gina's already shared, she had to go back and do her homework kind of like after the fact.
So there's a couple things. For someone who's out there looking to build, I think there are 2 things. One, you find a contractor that could do all of that. I mean, some people want to do certain parts of it, but check the contractor. Are they certified to get all those items? But again, remember, it's factored into the cost. You want to make sure they can connect the water. They can do the due diligence. Some of them will, some of them won't. So if they're not willing to do the waterworks and all the permitting, some of the water where the connections are, then you as an owner would have to do some of that. So again, find a contractor that could do from A to Z, but make sure you check the contract and everything is factored in. Because sometimes they'll say, yeah, here's the contract, but they left some of the items out. And then by the time you're done, they'll turn back and look at you and say, okay, that's your responsibility. So
how about contractors, just so that we as consumers don't get, what we might feel is, oh, I didn't anticipate that, or, the contractor, didn't exactly say that. How about if the contractor subcontracts like a variety of services?
Some of them do that.
They might say, I can lay the concrete or set up the rebar, but I'm going to subcontract the electrical.
The electrical or the connections to the water, they can subcontract that, but it'll be packaged into it. So you have to make sure you look at the contract and ask the questions, keep asking the questions. Is this included? Is this included? And then look at the dollars and cents, how it's broken down, who's handling what. So you want to make sure everything is delineated in your agreement between you and the contractor.
And if you've got a family member or friend who's built already, go to them, buy them a cup of coffee and pick their brains.
At the very least, if not a steak dinner.
That's right.
And the other critical thing is you want to do is if you have a list of contractors, you want to go out and inspect the homes that they built before. You want to look at the designs. You want to look at the quality of the work.
Portfolio.
You want to look at exactly what they're going to deliver to you, because if this is a representation of the house they build, you're expecting the same quality.
All right. Well, ladies, thank you. And Gina, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing. I mean, that was very big of you to do that. And hopefully, you know, your
mistakes could give someone else.
I didn't want to use that word, but
benefit.
thank you. Yeah, exactly. People can learn from you, and certainly that's part of what you do now as a realtor is you pass on your knowledge to people so that they won't make the same mistake. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for watching. But please stay tuned because we are back right after this.
Smiling is a natural response to joy, happiness, and excitement. Your smile reveals a lot about who you are. A healthy, beautiful smile can brighten your appearance and be an invitation to conversation and friendship. It is often one of the first things people notice about you. Now, thanks to the advancements in dentistry, you can have the smile you have always wanted, giving you an improved smile that looks and feels great.
My silver fillings that I have, they're getting older in my mouth and I need to replace them. So I've started to do that and I've replaced them with the white fillings and I've had really great success with that. It looks good, they feel natural, and it kind of goes hand in hand with the bleaching. I want a white look all around my mouth.
Shell's Million Miles giveaway is back, and we're giving 100,000 United Mileage Plus miles to 10 lucky winners. So how do you make your getaway? Just use your Lucky 7 card when you fuel up with 7 gallons or more, and you're automatically entered to win. Fuel up at your nearest Shell station today and start planning your new adventure. No purchase necessary. Some conditions apply. See stores for details.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Fiesta Friday. Now, our friends at the Micronesia Area Research Center on Thursday, March 3rd, will hold a special symposium. Joining me now is Father Francis Hezel. Hezel. Okay, I'm sorry about that, Father. Well, your work is very, very interesting because you have studied a particular part of the history of our island and of the Chamorro people, and you've actually dubbed a part of that conflict the Spanish Chamorro Wars. That's very, very interesting.
The Spanish Chamorro Wars revisited. The so-called Spanish Chamorro Wars, which were reputed to have taken thousands and thousands of lives. But when we do a body count, we find no more than 100 islanders lost during 30 years period of time.
Now, one of the things that we've known, we've talked to, historians, archaeologists over the years, and they say that, unfortunately, documenting history was not a strength of, like our people, and a lot of it was, like hearsay and conjecture. With what materials did you base your research?
Well, see, we did the materials we used were the treasure trove at the University of Guam. The Spanish materials, which that's the work of 30 or 40 years of collection that the University of Guam, particularly Micronesian Area Research Center, did. Now, when we do these things, I know that we'll get lambasted for using the enemy's materials, for using Spanish materials, and that seems to tilt the judgment. But actually, over years here in Micronesia, I've gotten used to using Western materials because what else do you have? And reading between the lines. And reading between the lines is important, and making parallels to the present day situation, the cultural situation, and people's responses to it is also important.
Now, given your profession as a man of the cloth, how is it to kind of almost produce what would be considered revisionist history?
Well, see, about 25 years ago, I'd finished the material that I was working on for the history of the Caroline and Marshall Islands. So I was up here in Guam once, and somebody led me through Mark, and they showed me some materials in someone's office. I started riffling through those materials, and they were fascinating. They were about the 1700 and on. the period of some of the early Spanish governors and what the Spanish governors were up to. And it wasn't sweet stuff, let me tell you. You know, it was, anyway, I wrote about that, went back to the earliest period, you know, 1668, the coming of San Vitores, tried to write about this. I called it From Conversion to Conquest. The second work was From Conquest to Colonization. And realized afterwards that I've gotten so many things wrong that I felt duty bound to come back and, you know, have a look at this again. I'm a person with a lot of questions. I've a lot of questions, and those questions were multiplied when I came to Micronesia, for sure. So I've spent my life trying to figure out why people act the way they do, what's turned them into the kind of people they are today, why things are the way they are at present. That's been the genesis of my history, interest in history.
Now, I would say, in fairness, many people are going to be curious, and they're saying, why is a priest undertaking this kind of work? You know, you're someone who would, by classical definition, maybe like, you know, lead their flock, give them a solid foundation of material to guide them into how to live their lives and everything. But you're taking a very, very academic, and like you said, out of your own curiosities and everything like that, searching for the truth.
Yes. I'm doing that because I think I've come across a number of people here who I sense are divided. They're Catholics, and they like to be, you know, strong Catholics, but they've also got their doubts about what happened during this early historical period. Was Pale San Vitores, was he a mass murderer? Did he lead something that essentially was responsible for the destruction of the population, or at least most of the population, and the culture? And these are questions I felt I had to contribute to. Like, perhaps it's like my current interest in suicide in Micronesia. I'm currently working on some other project that involves a look at suicide among migrants here. It has nothing to do with the way migrants are treated by Guamanians. It has a great deal to do with the complex social problems that people experience even in our own islands back there.
Well, we would absolutely love to have you back and talk about that research on a future episode. Yeah, you're welcome back anytime to talk about that.
Yeah.
So, you know, your work is going to be presented once again on Thursday, March 3rd. That's going to be from 4 to 6 p.m. Everybody at the IT&E Lecture Hall, room 31 at UOG's School of Business and Public Administration. But I must ask, Father, how has the feedback been to your work, like, thus far? And you know, when you talk to people or when you make a certain argument and everything like that, how do they receive it?
Well, it's been divided. First of all, you know, you get the normal response. People think that I have an interest that I'm protecting, you know, the interest of the church, you know, the picture of the church. San Vitores, I'm supposed to be helping, you know, on the canonization of San Vitores, and I'm interested in it. But this isn't just for that reason. It's to, at least I hope, it's to find the truth that we could all share in. And particularly this symposium is important because I wanted to launch a discussion. I don't claim to have the final answers, but I've made a beginning, or at least I've added on to work that other people have done.
You've got the ball rolling.
Yeah, and I expect that to continue. I expect that any work that I do will be part of a conversation.
What have you learned through this body of work, which has certainly taken a very long time and everything like that, and how has it changed your own perception of, you know, of the island?
Well, I think that I think what it convinces me is that what was in the past is still true now. That people are generally welcoming. They had the opportunity to slaughter the 36 people that walked into the shore in 1668, but didn't do it. So they saw something, and it wasn't just gospel teaching. It was certain benefits. And I want to have the opportunity of explaining that and getting people to think about it.
Well, certainly you will have that. So once again, everybody, that's going to be at the UOG School of Business and Public Administration on Thursday the 3rd from 4 to 6 p.m. Father, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, and we'd love to have you back for that additional research and everything like that. Come back anytime.
I'll be here. Thanks.
All right.
Thank you.
Please stay tuned, everybody. We will be back with more show when we return.
Your community calendar is brought to you by Taco Bell. Whether it's your first meal or your fourth meal, we've got you covered. Taco Bell, live Mas.
Dancing. It's a form of art, vibrant, moving, evolving. With every move, every step, every rhythm, behind every dance is a story of who I am, who we were, and who we are as a community. As Pacific Islanders at the 2016 Festival of the Pacific Arts,
I will share my story.
When you come to Chuck E. Cheese's, you can see what's new.
New fun! New games! New cousins!
What's new?
New awesomeness!
Where a kid can't be a kid.
Don't wait. If you've been thinking about buying your next vehicle, now is the time. Hundreds of brand new Hyundais, Dodges, Chryslers, Jeeps, Rams, and Fiat. Plus, quality used vehicles are all priced to move during Cars Plus massive markdown tent sale. Going on now through Monday in Mighty. From the asphalt to the mud trails, we've got you covered. On-the-spot financing available. But you gotta hurry. This sale absolutely ends Monday, February 29th. It's a massive markdowns tent sale. Going on now at Cars Plus and Mighty. Cars Plus, driven by you.
All right, everybody, we are out of time. But from all of us here at Harmon, including our own technical director, Peter Anderson, good night, and we'll see you next time.
Closed captioning is brought to you by